The self-improvement space, especially for men, is a space designed to help young guys improve their life, improve the way they look, the way they feel, the way they think, their finances, their relationships, all kinds of different aspects of your life is designed to be improved upon through lots of different creators on YouTube, including myself. But there seems to be a little bit of a problem forming in the self-improvement space on YouTube. Recently, I posted a video about Hamza, who is my personal favorite self-improvement YouTuber. And in that video, I noticed I was getting lots of comments about how he is changed and how the courses that he sells are scammy and he's more of a guru now. And it really just brought to light this kind of thought in my head, this trend that I've been seeing on YouTube, that a lot of people really don't seem to like people who sell courses, who sell communities on school, or who sell any kind of product or have any kind of affiliation with sponsors and things like that. Creators like Hamza and Iman Gadzhi and the CEO of Testosterone and First Man, even people like Andrew Tate and Chris Williamson, all of these people grew an audience primarily of young men who want to improve their life and gain insights. But all of these people grew their platforms to such a large amount of people that they decided to start capitalizing off of this and making more money, because let's face it, YouTube doesn't really pay that much in terms of its ads. So these creators, rightly so, want to earn more money from what they do. I know firsthand, being a content creator, as small as this channel is very, very difficult and time consuming. So I understand that they want to make more money. So what do? They usually start off by making a course on whatever topic it is that they specialize in, and then they go on to make a community or get sponsorships and start pushing different kind of sponsorships through their podcast and through their videos. Now, the paradox here is that a lot of people will root for these self-improvement YouTubers and kind of, be at their backs and want them to do well when they are quite small and have quite a small audience. Because I know that I get a lot of really nice comments and some really true fans who watch all of my videos and comment on all of my videos, and I have so much respect for those guys. But then what seems to happen is, as these creators and self-improvement YouTubers grow their audience, they then decide to improve how much money they themselves make. You have to understand that these creators are all growing in their own self-improvement journey themselves. Look at Hamza. He decided that he didn't want to work a full-time job anymore, so he started a YouTube channel, and then once his channel got to a certain size, he decided to sell courses and one-on-one coaching through that channel in order to make more money. And that was just all aimed at achieving his goal of not having to work a full-time job anymore. But part of the self-improvement growth of these individuals requires them to start making courses and to start selling products to their audience in order to further increase their finances. Paradox happens when these people who are on their self-improvement journeys, the same as they were when they were at 1,000 subscribers, the audience that was originally rooting for them and behind their backs now starts to turn on them and calls them scammers and says that they're just gurus. People will root for you when you're first starting out because you remind them of their dreams, but they'll tear you down when you get successful because you remind them of what they gave up on. This is a really nice quote that just really sums up the whole kind of problem for me, is that people will be rooting for you and want you to do well when you're small, but then as part of your own self-improvement journey progresses and you want to improve your finances and improve your business so that you can improve the rest of your life, then people start to turn on you. So it's almost like a paradox. The more and more that you improve on this journey, the more and more people will like you, but there'll be a lot of people who start to dislike you because you're improving. But the reason that they liked you in the first place was because you were improving. So this quote kind of sums all that up. I mean, who knows, I might go on to make a course or a community or get a sponsorship with some product that I think is really good, like in the future, later on down the line in my channel. And no doubt the same thing will happen to me that has happened to Hamza and Iman and countless other self-improvement YouTubers. Gurufication. This is what we're talking about when we say that when people get to a certain level of success, They start to sell courses, they start to create online communities, they start to get sponsorships. All this is kind of the process of gurufication. This is when people start to appear like those scammy gurus that you see online that do the crypto stuff and the fastest, easy way to make 10k a month kind of people. And the truth is that these self-improvement YouTubers just aren't like that. They are just on their own journeys themselves and want to improve their business. If you had a YouTube channel that had 1 million subscribers, I'm sure you would want to sell to those subscribers so that you could make more money yourself. And that's where the paradox comes in, because as the gurufication process takes effect, people who were originally rooting for those people who are on their self-improvement journeys now start to dislike those people, because they get to a certain level of self-improvement where that person no longer reminds them of their dreams, they remind them of what they gave up on. So now I want to talk to you about the solution to this. What can we actually do about this? Well, it's in my opinion that as the viewer, as the consumer of the self-improvement content, we need to look at this content as more of a tool to better help our own self-improvement journeys, rather than to just randomly watch this content for dopamine. And that means we need to be quite selective, as you would with a tool. We need to be selective about who we watch, what kind of content we watch. And if we like a YouTuber enough to join their course or join their community, then go for it. But we need to not be tearing these self-improvement YouTubers down. I think a lot of people misunderstood my point in the video that I made about Hamza that did really well. A lot of people commented, and you could tell they probably only watched the first 60 seconds of the video, but they assumed that I was tearing Hamza down and saying that he was a bad YouTuber and the things that he was doing were bad. But if people actually watched more than half of that video, you'll know that I was actually rooting for Hamza, and I was explaining that change is a good thing, and that, self-improvement YouTubers are going to change up their content all the time in order to grow and progress, and this is all just part of growth. So I think as consumers, we shouldn't be trying to tear people down just because they release courses, just because they release a book, just because they start a community, because they themselves are on their self-improvement journey just like you and just like me. They are just quite a few steps ahead of you and me. And when we get to their level, we might think twice about tearing them down, because we might end up making the same decisions that they made. So what I think we should do is, when we go onto YouTube to watch some self-improvement content, we need to, first of all, not just watch whatever video the YouTube algorithm shows us, but we need to actively go out and try and find what we're interested in. What this is going to do is it's going to allow you to take control of the content you watch and use YouTube as a tool to further your own self-improvement journey, rather than just judging and tearing down other self-improvement YouTubers. Because I have seen a lot of comments on Hamza's videos and Hamza's community posts and other YouTubers' community posts, people saying that self-improvement YouTubers are scammers and that all they want is money and all they want to do is build their courses. And there is some truth in that. Obviously, Iman Gadzhi wants to sell his Educate app, right? He makes money from doing that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a scammer. Iman is on his journey of self-improvement and self-development, just like you are and just like I am. And he is at that level where he wants to grow his business. That doesn't mean we necessarily need to go and buy his product. We just need to think of him as a tool to use for information and go watch his older videos, rather than just going onto YouTube to tear these people down, because that is just unproductive and doesn't get anyone any further in this whole self-improvement game. Okay, now I want to talk to you about what the real problem in the self-improvement space is at the moment. And this is a real problem. Now, this is the Tateification of self-improvement. So obviously you'll know Andrew Tate, Tate, and a lot of these kind of red pill YouTubers. There's a few others who I've seen who claim to be self-improvement YouTubers, self-help YouTubers, especially directed towards young men. Now, I honestly do think this is a little bit of a problem in the self-improvement space. I think the guys who are smoking the cigars and who are out with loads of women and have huge body counts and go on these podcasts and just talk about how to get girls and like how many women you should fuck and all this stuff, I do think this is really quite negative content that isn't really going to improve anyone's self-improvement journey. And I think the red pill overall, it has its uses for like some scenarios. I guess some of the stuff that's in red pill could be applicable, but usually it's going to be more toxic than it is going to be helpful to you. That's just from what I've seen from the content and from my own personal life experience. I feel like looking at YouTubers like Hamza and like Chris Williamson and Iman, who provide actual value on like how to grow businesses, how to improve your mental health, how to have good sleeping habits, and how to exercise, and these kind of things. These are all kind of lessons that are going to be so much more valuable and so much more applicable to your actual life than just the red pill content, which is all sort of geared towards making you this alpha male, and it's very kind of misogynistic, and I just personally don't think it's super helpful. And I don't think the whole kind of aesthetic of being in suits and going on expensive holidays and having all the nicest cars and the yachts and the Rolex and the cigar, I'm not gonna lie, I do think it's quite cool. Like, you know, I've done videos before where the thumbnail is me with a cigar, right? I do think it's kind of cool, but I don't think it's really what the whole self-improvement space should be about, because I don't know if it is necessarily self-improvement. It's just its own separate category. And the reason I bring this up is because when I talk to my friends about self-improvement and when I talk to people at work about self-improvement, a lot of them kind of come back at me with the whole Andrew Tate thing, and, you know, it's just about getting loads of money and cigars, but self-improvement is so much more than just getting as much money as possible. Yes, it's about improving your finances, but it's also about improving your mental health, about improving your relationships, improving your diet, improving your fitness, longevity, just your general overall like feeling in this world. Like, are you going to be happy, or are you just going to be constantly chasing money and status? And there is a huge difference between those two things. So I do think that is currently the biggest problem in kind of the men's or young men's self-improvement space, is the red pill content and the black pill content. And don't even get me started on the black pill stuff. That is, you know, if you're watching that, then God help you. But I do think there is a problem there, and I do think a lot of young guys, especially like 15 or 14 to 16 year olds, get really hooked on the Tate stuff, and they can sort of feel like that is the goal and that is the self-improvement kind of journey, and your whole journey should be geared towards earning as much money as possible through whatever means necessary. And that, to me, isn't the goal of self-improvement. But obviously feel free to disagree with me if you don't think that's the biggest problem in self-improvement and you do think it's the courses and the gurufication of the creators. The reason I don't see that as a huge problem is because you don't have to buy these courses and you don't have to buy the products that they are sponsored by. You can just use those creators as a tool for watching videos to improve your life, which is kind of what they were for in the first place. So that's why I don't see that as the problem, and that's why I see the red pill kind of Andrew Tate style cigar content a problem. So you can totally disagree with me on that, and, you know, please let me know if you do disagree with me on that, and, you know, I'm happy. Like, I'd love for an open discussion on that, because that is the only real like problem I see in the self-improvement space. And yeah, I think especially a lot of really young people are super susceptible to that kind of content. So just some final thoughts on the self-improvement space as a whole. We just have to remember that all the creators in the space, including myself, are all just people who are growing. We're growing our own personal selves, we're growing our YouTube channels, we're growing our businesses, and this is all part of self-improvement. Improving your finances and improving your overall life, that all comes from working on a business, from earning money online is usually the main way to do it. And to do that, you have to release courses, you have to create communities, you have to get sponsorships for products, and this is all just part of it. And I don't really think it's a super productive thing to do, to just tear people down. And that's why I wanted to make this video mainly, is because that's kind of the main comment that I see, especially from my Hamza video and from other comments that I've seen on other creators' videos. It's just like people thinking that they're scammers because they have a course, or because they have a community that they sell, or some product that they want to sell you. And I do think that is unproductive to just call these guys scammers. And it's something that it's kind of a huge mindset at the moment with a lot of the younger sort of content consumers on self-improvement and who watch self-improvement content. It's like any self-improvement YouTuber who just starts to create some kind of paid product or anything is immediately called a scammer and just torn down. And it just brings us back to that kind of paradox. Is like, well, You're supporting them because they're growing in their self-improvement journey. But part of their self-improvement journey is to improve their finances and improve their business and improve their life. So when they go and do that, that's when you don't support them anymore. And that's when they're scammers, and that's when they're gurus. And a lot of people misinterpreted kind of my view on that with my Hamza video. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of talk about the whole kind of self-improvement space overall and that kind of problem and the solution to it. So just remember, grow with these people, grow with me, continue your self-improvement journey and do it with these creators, regardless of whether they sell a course, regardless of whether they have sponsorships. Just do it with them. Try not to tear people down, and the self-improvement space will just be better for it overall. Remember, improve yourself by 1% every day and you will get there. See ya.